Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, that is Learn with Manisha. This is the very first video of mine where I'm going to start a Indian literature series in which I'm going to cover all the major Indian writers, and that is going to be very useful for all the TGT and PGT examination, especially for the UKPSC lecturer and the LT exam. In this series, our very first writer, very first major writer, Indian writer is R.K. Narayan. R.K. Narayan, we will see the biography of R.K. Narayan as well as the major works written by R.K. Narayan. In the next video, I will be sharing the major themes of major works of R.K. Narayan. So please be stay tuned. Let's start. R.K. Narayan, the lifespan of R.K. Narayan is 1906 to 2001. So the very first point about R.K. Narayan is his full name is Rasipuram Krishna Swami Iyer Narayan Swami. This is a very famous question as well as important question that has already been asked in various TGT and PGT examination, that just tell the full name of R.K. Narayan. So do remember that the full name of R.K. Narayan is Rasipuram Krishna Swami Iyer Narayan Swami. And the second point is he was born on 10th October 1906 in a village Rasipuram, that is in Madras, and he died on 13th May 2001 in Madras. As you know, we all have to remember the lifespan of all the major writers. So please do remember the lifespan of R.K. Narayan too. And his father name, another point is his father's name is Krishna Swami and his father was a school headmaster. Next point, that he settled down in Mysore, and his mother tongue is in Tamil and he writes in English. And the last point about R.K. Narayan is very much interesting about his name, that R in his name represent the name of village. As you can see that the name of R.K. Narayan, the meaning of R is Rasipuram. So Rasipuram is also the name of his village, and K is the name of his father, that is Krishna Swami. So R.K. Narayan's name accumulated with the village name as well as his father's name. So R for the Rasipuram, that is his village name, and K is his father's name, that is Krishna Swami. Okay, moving to the next slide, there are more key facts about R.K. Narayan is that he was one of the 8 children, 6 sons and 2 daughters, and Narayan was the second among the sons. And the next point is his younger brother Ramchandran later became an editor at Gemini Studios, and his youngest brother R.K. Lakshman is a very famous cartoonist. आपने सुना भी होगा R.K. Lakshman की दुनिया. He is a very famous cartoonist and the brother of the R.K. Narayan. And the next point is Narayan spent a part of his childhood under the care of his maternal grandmother Parvati. So this is also a very important question, that in who reared R.K. Narayan, means where R.K. Narayan spent his childhood. So Narayan mostly spent his childhood under the great care of his maternal grandmother, and her name is Parvati. And another important question is that his grandmother gave him the nickname of Kunjapa. This is also a very interesting fact about R.K. Narayan, that his loving grandmother Parvati gave him the nickname, and the nickname of R.K. Narayan was Kunjapa. Next point is in 1930 he graduated from Maharaja College at the age of 24. And the last key fact of R.K. Narayan is that he worked as a clerk in the Mysore Secretariat and then as a teacher in a village school. So from for earning his livelihood before writing, coming to the mm, literary career, he also worked as a clerk, where he worked as a clerk in the Mysore Secretariat, and after then a teacher in a village school. So, moving to the next slide, let's remember these points about R.K. Narayan, which is very much essential. So, the very first point is that he get married in 1935, and he married to a girl whose name is Rajam. So, the wife of R.K. Narayan is Rajam. Next point, Hema, the name of his daughter. So Hema is the only child of R.K. Narayan and Rajam, right? And unfortunately, his wife Rajam died of typhoid in 1939. In 1935, he married to Rajam, but unfortunately, she died because of typhoid in 1939. So this is all about his marriage life. Let's see, this is also a very important fact about R.K. Narayan, that he was a very avid reader, or we can say he is an ardent reader. And his early literary diet included Charles Dickens, Woodhouse, Arthur Conan Doyle, and Thomas Hardy. Next important point about R.K. Narayan is that this point you must have to remember that he became a reporter for a Madras based paper called The Justice, dedicated to the rights of non Brahmins. This is utterly a very important question regarding R.K. Narayan, that who became a reporter for a Madras based paper. So R.K. Narayan became a reporter for a Madras based paper, and the name of the paper was The Justice, and this paper is totally dedicated to the rights of non Brahmins. And the last point is also very much essential, that Narayan's mentor and friend Graham Greene. So, who is the mentor and friend of R.K. Narayan? Graham Greene. And Graham Greene helped Narayan to publish his starting four books, that is, including the trilogy of R.K. Narayan. First one is Swami and Friends, The Bachelor of Arts, and The English Teacher. So these are the some points which you have to remember about R.K. Narayan. Let's see awards and honors that has been given to R.K. Narayan. So the very first and the famous prestigious Sahitya Academy Award for the novel The Guide in 1960. The Guide is a very famous novel of R.K. Narayan that has been written in the year 1958, which we will going to see later on. So for the novel The Guide, he got the Sahitya Academy Award in the year 1960. Do remember that. Second point is also about The Guide, that The Guide was adopted for a film. See, The Guide novel became so much famous that he was that sorry that The Guide was adapted for the film in the year 1965, and also won a Filmfare Award for the best film. Next award received by R.K. Narayan is that he received the highest civilian award, that is Padma Bhushan in 1964, and after that Padma Vibhushan in 2000, right? Next award is A.C. Benson Medal from the Royal Society of Literature in 1980, the prestigious Benson Medal Award from the Royal Society he won in 1980. And also a very important question that has already been asked various times, that who has nominated to the Rajya Sabha in the year 1989. So it is R.K. Narayan. He was also nominated to the Rajya Sabha, the upper house of the Indian Parliament, in the year 1989. And the second last point is also very important, that he was awarded honorary D literature by the University of Leeds, by the University of Delhi, and the Mysore University in the year 1967, 1973, and 1976 respectively, right? And also the very famous key fact about R.K. Narayan is that he is also called a regional novelist, right? He is a regional novelist, and he created an imaginary town, Malgudi, that is located in Mysore state. So this region Malgudi, though it is a pseudo region, but it is very much famous and attached to all the literary writings of R.K. Narayan. So this is also a very important and yet famous question about R.K. Narayan, that which region is associated with R.K. Narayan, and the name of that region is Malgudi. Now let's see some important and famous work of R.K. Narayan. So here I'm just telling the name of the important works, and in the second video of mine I will try to elaborate the theme of these major work in means the gist of all the major work. So here the very first especially this slide is all about novels. So let's see, the very first novel is Swami and Friends, 1935, published in 1935. And with this book, Narayan created Malgudi, a fictional town. As I just told you, that Narayan is a regional novelist, very famously known for his Malgudi town. Right, so this writing of Malgudi, this creation of Malgudi has been started from the novel Swami and Friends, that novel published in the year 1935. Second, The Bachelor of Arts. See, in these all the novels has been written here in the chronological order, so it will be very much useful for you to remember all the dates. Second one is The Bachelor of Arts, 1937, then The Dark Room, 1938, After the English Teacher, 1945, then Mr. Sampath, The Printer of Malgudi, 1949, then The Financial Expert, 1952. Next is Waiting for the Mahatma, 1955. Then The Guide, 1958. And for the novel The Guide, he received the Sahitya Academy Award, right? And the la and this and the after the guide, he has written The Man Eater of Malgudi in 1962. Right, after that, The Vendor of Sweets, 1967, then The Painter of Science, 1976, then A Tiger of Malgudi, 1983, after that Talkative Man, 1986, then after The World of Nagraj, 1990, and the last novel is Grandmother's Tale, that is written in 1993. So here it is given in a chronological order, so please do remember the names of the novel as well as the publication year. Let's move to the part of the stories. So there are some very famous stories that has been written by R.K. Narayan. So the first one is A Horse and Two Goats, that is published in the year 1970. Then An Astrologer's Day and Other Stories, 1947. Lolly Road, 1956. Malgudi Days, 1942. Next, Dodo and Other Stories, 1944. Then Cyclone and Other Stories, 1941. Then Gods, Demons and Other Stories, 1964. After that, Under the Banyan Tree and Other Stories, 1985. After the stories, let's move to the essays. These are the very famous essays written by R.K. Narayan, and one of the questions might be asked from the essay sections of R.K. Narayan. So just do remember the name of these essays as well as the publication year. So the first one is Next Sunday, a collection of sketches and essays, that is published in the year 1960. After that, Reluctant Guru, 1974, and after that, A Writer's Nightmare, 1988, and the last one is The World of the Storyteller, 1989. These are the some famous essays, and after the essays, we are going to see the most famous things written by R.K. Narayan is that he has written travelogues, two travelogues that are very much famous. So the first travelogue is My Dateless Diary, written by R.K. Narayan and published in the year 1960. So let's see some important points about My Dateless Diary. So the very first point is my dateless diary is a collection of autobiographical essays. Do remember that my dateless diary is the collection of autobiographical essays by R.K. Narayan, published in the year 1960. Second important point about this is that this book was the output of a daily journal that he maintained during his visit to the United States on a Rockefeller Fellowship in 1956. So this travelogue, my dateless diary, is his visit to the United States, US, when he has gone to the US in 1956. So he has written this travelogue, my dateless diary. So in the my dateless diary, you will get to know about his experience as well as his visit to the US, United States. Second famous travelogue of R.K. Narayan is the Emerald Route, published in the year 1980. So first point about is that it was published by Indian Thought Publication in 1980, and the important thing about the Emerald Route is that this book is totally focused on the local history, culture and heritage, and doesn't exhibit much of Narayan's characteristic personal narrative. So this book is mostly focused on the local history, culture and heritage, right? And also do not show much reveal about the Narayan's characteristics. So the Emerald Route is also the another famous travelogue of R.K. Narayan. So that's all for today's lecture. In the next series of Indian literature, we will continue with the R.K. Narayan, in which I am going to tell you about the themes of some of his famous work. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you. If you find this video of worth, kindly like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much.